Good day, how are you all? Apologies for not making a video for months and months, but I've been going through something quite interesting to do with energy, and I think it's something that is going to be in the post for everyone. So excuse my attire, I'm just about to go into work. So I won't get too deep into what happened to me in March, end of February, March, but I was offered something and I said yes, and it was a real wow of an experience, put it that way. Without saying too much, if you're offered by your guides, do you want to return to your true self? Then I can advise saying yes. And then do not be alarmed when you are wide awake and there's something in your room that's so bright and big and noisy, beaming some kind of frequency at you that you physically feel in your body. And it's not something that you can think, did that happen? Or you're going to know it happened. It's like, what on earth, did I make the right choice? What was that? That was real, man. What was that? And then you completely dissolve your whole personality and have to reform a new one. And that takes about 6 months to do that, to really reform. But what the consequence is your heart is going to be expanded so much that you will just feel like everything is as it's meant to be. You'll feel so elated and happy in the heart, and every decision you make will be from the heart. It's been such a journey, and I feel like what it's done is it's undone any and all damage by other entities over the years that may have had a hand in altering me, shifting me to different thought patterns, or adding bits, taking away bits. Whatever you want to think about when it comes to your energy and your direction and who you can contact. Because here's an interesting thing, right? I felt all this beautiful heart energy for a certain group of beings. Absolute heart energy, wouldn't doubt them, because, well, my heart feels great when I'm around them, right? So that must be true. And then when that happened to me, it's that light frequency thing. It ceased all care about them. Like, I didn't even think about them. And then there's been no contact since. And I was kind of going intuitively inside, feeling like, what was that? What happened there? And what I've got is that there's certain beings that come across and tell you that you're twin flames and the energy's so loving and you just want to be around them, and you feel... What has been shown to me is that they fit you with some kind of energetic parasite that is a replica of theirs. They have actual parasites in their mind, and I'll probably get in a little bit of trouble for saying this, but no, I'm beyond caring now. And what happens is the energetic replica of that parasite that's in your mind will feel a total connection to them. A total connection, like it's like being part of the Borg, that you just feel safe and you've no doubt that you're loved, because that parasite in your head is loved by their parasites, right? I know this sounds really crazy, but if you just think of it as in, like, an energetic parasite that makes you believe a certain thing, makes you feel this love. And then when I went through this transformation thing, it no longer existed, so I no longer sought it out, and I no longer cared about them. And I was like, how many people have been altered in some way, that they've been fitted with these things to just believe that these beings are all love and all they care about is us, and it's actually not. It's actually been to harvest some kind of energy of us, or to manipulate us in a way that we will be apathetic to a certain cause, or just more manageable. So that's all gone now, and I've been working on myself and for the last 6 months since then, and I feel more in control than I ever have. Totally more in control. It felt slightly not lonely at first, but to not have that constant surveillance that I always felt. I always felt somebody was watching me. That's not taking away my blue light. If you've watched my videos for a long time, then you'll know that I always get a blue light. And I know other people who also get the same blue light. And it is always guiding me. Like, it can be guiding me in a normal conversation with somebody. I'll get a flash, like, don't say that. That's not going to be good for them. And so it's always kept me right. That is consistent. That's remained. And I'd believe that to be some kind of source energy, some kind of creator, grand creator energy that's just helping us and guiding us. So, all that aside, what I've been watching in the world and all the visions I've had of over the years, most have come true. If you've read my book, you'll see a lot of the things that I was shown in visions, and they all seem to be coming to pass. Most of them have. But it got me wondering, are we still on that same timeline of the martial law in the US? Because that hasn't come to pass yet. That was one of the big ones. And it didn't feel... What I did feel was that we had to defend ourselves. Now, I'm not American, obviously, and I don't live in America. But what came to pass was there'll be a time where people will have to defend themselves. And it wasn't military on the street. They were wearing blue, long blue, like lamb's wool coats and blue berets, and it wasn't the UN. I remember I got this back in 2012, 2013. And it's not until, obviously, a few years ago that Space Force came out and I went, that's the uniform. Space Force. So they were on the streets, nobody was allowed out, it was a curfew. This was during the day, no one was allowed out, for whatever reason. And I remember at the time, my granddad was alive at the time, right, when I had this dream. But in the dream he appeared as a ghost. And he said to my eldest son, he gave him like a pow-pow thing, right, and said, right, you're of age now, you need to protect your family. And it's like, well, now he's 25 now. My next one down's 22. And it wasn't given to him, so it's almost like we've dodged a flying object, possibly, because it would have meant that he was, 21 when he was going to be a man. So, but I still keep seeing it. I'm like, okay, what can happen? Could there be something that causes this to happen, these Space Forces to come out on the streets, if it is indeed them? And you're not allowed to leave your home for your own safety, possibly, but the fact that, and then since my granddad has passed since, so it would make sense that it was once he was passed, this was going to manifest. So it's just interesting times, but it always leads to the best conclusion. And I keep getting in my cards, you need strength, strength, strength. Justice is prevailing. I keep getting justice is prevailing. It will all work out as it should, and the outcome is always celebrations, coming together as a humanity, as a species, sovereignty, freedom. It all ends in that, but it's almost like we have to go through individual internal battles for freedom, because a lot of people still want to be part of the collective energy that is having leadership and being controlled and being told what to do because they feel safe. But this is like, things have to build up to an absolute climax so that every single human wants sovereignty. Because once everyone asks for it, the universe has to provide. So things have to happen in a certain way that people will ask for freedom. People will demand sovereignty and freedom. So I just thought I'd give you a fill you in on that, because that's what I feel is coming next. And it may only be for a short time, because I didn't see any length of time. It was just one instance, and then right at the back of that, aliens came down while I was in this. And the strange thing about that dream is I remember looking down, there's a little girl there with long blonde hair, and I'm like, oh, someone's child's got out, I'm going to have to take her home. How? And I'm watching these soldiers, men in blue coats, walking 2 by 2 by 2 up and down everywhere, crossroads, up and down. How am I going to get her home? I don't know where she lives. Well, I've got my daughter now is 8 and long blonde hair, so, and I hadn't even thought about getting a new partner at the time I had the dream. I was quite happy. Didn't consider I was going to have another child, never mind a daughter, having 2 sons. So that was interesting, and that one came at the back of the Muslim like disturbances within the community, people attacking them, and they were fearing for their safety, which could be happening right now, especially in places like Ireland. People who've been there, and this was people who've lived there all their life, were scared of being put into the bundle of illegals that have come in because of unrest happening. Because of that, they were scared of being attacked, and I think that is ongoing now, and that's in my book as well from when I wrote that in 2012. So anyway, that's my update. I have to get into work now, but just strength. Everything is unfolding as it should, and just stay in the heart. And if you're asked, do you want to turn to your true self? Say yes, but you have to go through a series of tests first, and those tests include your fear. Are you, when you're faced with the devil himself, do you freak out and run? Do you fight, or do you just go into yourself and say, I love my energy, I love my mind, I love my soul? That's what I did, and it dissipated, and I got told I'd passed the test. So, it's a little heads up for you. Anyway, much love. Bye bye.